So I just want to give the scene to this a little bit. So you'd become the editor of the New Republic, the most influential political magazine in the United States at that time. You'd become phenomenally successful.
And controversial, I might say.
And unbelievably controversial for reasons we won't go into, but suffice to say, unbelievably controversial. You'd really... you were holidaying in Hyannisport, the Kennedy home, with the son of Bobby Kennedy. You were you were modelling for the Gap. You were at the absolute centre of American life, and then you have this unbelievable crash. You have this diagnosis, and it must have been unbearable.
It was terrifying, and it was also simultaneous with my close friend being diagnosed within the same 6 weeks, and caring for him for 2 years and watching him die in front of me. The week Virtually Normal was published. One thing I always promised to Patrick was I would be there with him when he died, and I was my first book was published. It was this big book, and I was doing the book tour, and I was traveling from San Francisco to Seattle, and I suddenly get a call, in the old days on the phone, the back of the airplane seat, from his friend Chris, and he said, "Andrew, I think for some reason I just seen Patrick the week before. He seemed okay, although he'd looked at me in such a way that really affected me, as if he'd given up. And he said, I don't know, but I think things may be happening more quickly than any of us understood." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Well, I talked to the doctor, and they said he could be fine, but he could be dead within 48 hours. And I was traveling to Seattle for a huge, big public meeting on marriage rights. It's the first book arguing for gay marriage, which he believed in, and he edited Virtually Normal page by page. I have his manuscript with his notes, and I cancelled the whole tour, and I got to Seattle, and the book agents was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" They had this thing at the Chateau Marmont in Los Angeles. I was on every major TV. They had gone all out with this book. You recall, it also came to England with it at the time. And I just went back. I just said, I'm sorry. I turned around the airport, got there within 3 hours of him dying. And the first thing I said to him, he had a respirator in his mouth. And I said, "You fucking ruined my book tour." And even though he had the thing in his mouth, he smiled. His mother, he was from the panhandle of Florida. He was from the deep south. Where am I going with this? I've forgotten now. But anyway, we were all there when all his 5 closest friends came from all over the country to be with him, and he waited until we were all there, he's still with me. That's what I mean by soul. He's still with me, and I mean that really, almost empirically, with me. I don't think he's gone. And I think that's how the people who knew Jesus felt. And I think they saw him in the strangest of places. And they knew he was alive. And they knew he had transcended death. And if I would try to explain what I mean by the resurrection and the incarnation, it would be the entrance of that kind of love into human life and human living, and its permanence.